Welcome to my channel, Jesus TV. My returned subscribers, God bless you all. My new viewers, you're welcome. If this is your first time of viewing my channel, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like and share my videos, and don't forget to comment nicely. Okay, so due to this recent development of Queen Naomi being detained in remanded in police custody with Alahaji hamzat. So a lot of people have been saying a lot lately, asking why the king has refused to help Queen Naomi, why the the aid was fast enough to disassociate themselves from Queen Naomi and all that. Well, with the way this case is going, with the way this case is going, people already heard me when I said, did you, the part where I read and said that they said one of the counts, the charges they counted yesterday was that they were charging Queen Naomi for murder, and that's one of the charges for Queen Naomi. And wow, a lot of people have been calling on the king and government officials to actually help to see that Queen Naomi to see that Queen Naomi will be released from this. But you know that a lot of, did you even see the crowd? Like, I get to somebody shared the crowd on social media. What actually happened? The crowd during Queen Naomi's funfair, the crowd was so much. The crowd was so much. Like they said, even people that can be able to feed their children comfortably, they own stores at that axis in Ibadan, at that place in Ibadan, that they also went to join the crowd. Like the crowd was so much, according to them. So, but you all know that the government will have to do the right thing because it involves the deaths of children. But I even feel like this is the right procedure. If they don't do it this way, a lot might go down because most of these people are really bitter. Okay, so during the Queen Naomi's mom came out to cry for help on social media, and her siblings too as well. Her sister, her brother has been writing on social media and of course pointing out some great points, but you know it has to be done in a court, in a lawful manner, in a lawful way. Of course they are going to court, and I just pray that she has a good lawyer. I mean, they have a good lawyer because she's not the only one in this um in this. Alahaji Ayomide Ayomi and Ayomi Hamzat was also involved, you know. So these are people's reactions. Unique Fashion Style said, "This is so sad. Atu- Atupa Makeover says, this is the heartbreaking. My heart bleeds. Chineja said, simile, crying simile, Quinola. Hey God, God will intervene. Queen Naomi is the daughter of Grace Core, the Nichols Ooni. Omo. Somebody said, Josie Babe said, Mommy, continue to let people know the situation surrounding your daughter so that the genuine people can help her. Yes, I think at this situation, at this moment, they need to create more awareness, so that everybody can know how this issue will be settled. Because the issues surrounding the deaths of people's children, they will it has to be pinned on someone, you know. And I continue to pray that may God continue to grant those innocent children eternal rest. But even though I'm angry with their mom, their parents, their guardians, I still pray that God consoles their mother, their parents, and their loved ones, because it's not easy to lose a child or even children, no matter the situation of the country. To carry children for 9 months, birth them, train them even up to that age, is not a child's play. So the government is doing the necessary things to calm the situation. If they don't follow this procedure, trust me, those people might go the other route to resolve this issue. Once it involves children and a lot of people that are not enlightened, the people that lost their children are not, most of them were not enlightened, they are not educated, they can do the undo. So I feel they should allow the government to do their thing. They should leave them to go to court, to resolve these issues. This can even cause chaos in a state. So I feel like that is why the governor is handling it the way he knows how to handle it best. He's an educated man, and the governor has so far maintained peace in Oyo State for throughout his reign. Even when there were a lot of chaos in other states, he's always been handling issues properly. So I feel like he knows what he's doing. So let us allow them to do their jobs. Queen Naomi and you people should continue to pray for her. That's what I feel. The mom and the siblings will continue to be calm and also pray for her. Because I was talking to somebody else, I said, even if they release her from their custody and Alahaji from his custody, it might not sit well with the people that lost their children. And that is it. And another thing I observed was, I said to someone, one of my friends, I feel like the the palace of Ife did the best thing for now to disassociate themselves from anything concerning Queen Naomi. Not that the king will not help Queen Naomi, not that the king will not go for it. But these people are looking for where to pin their the death of their child on. Of course, they will have to look for someone to blame. Do you understand? They have to blame someone for the death of these children. And it has to be the organizers. It has to be the organizers of the event. So no other person. So the government is actually doing what they can. Because some people have been calling on the king. Why is it that Ooni of Ife is not doing anything to help Queen Naomi and all that? Even if he's doing something to help Queen Naomi, he will not come out in public to say it, because this issue is a very sensitive one. It's not something that they can just sweep under the carpet or just let to be. it could cause a lot in a state. Okay, so somebody said the comments commented beneath Queen Naomi's mom's plead for them to release her daughter. God will surely intervene. She will come out victorious. This is so heartbreaking. Lord, please have mercy. Day Tutu said, we will keep praying for her. Ola X said, my God. Style by Nikki Lad said, Aye Abiyamu. Aye. This one spoke about, this is really emotional. Style by Nikki Lad said, okay, Ade said, stop crying, mommy. God will vindicate her in Jesus' name. Kai Oluwa said, Emi Awo, Mama Son. Rose Sharper said, is well. God will surely see her. Yes, Bola, Baba, thank you for joining my life. Yes, because with the situation of things right now, if you've watched the video clips of the children that was lost, the way their parents were carrying them, probably they would just carry the children, their corpse, and go and drop them in government house. That is how those things used to end. And seeking for justice, everybody must have forgotten how everything started. It was a call for, it's a charity call for to help them, to make her for the children to have fun. They will forget the good parts. I am telling you, they have all forgotten the good parts of. They've all forgotten the good part of this because it involves not even that they were injured. Their lives of children, not even adults, were lost. So they have to do it the appropriate way. If not, a lot will go down. The appropriate way is bringing them to court, for them to sit in court and talk about it. It's like a dialogue. So they will have to be patient with the government. you know that means she'll have to stay there for a while. She'll have to be in court for a while. The Mr. Ayomi Hamzat will have to be in court for a while. We have to stay with the police custody. The police will have to be in the police custody for a while, because what if they allow them to go and their safety is not guaranteed? That's another axis to look at it from. So let us not be faster than the law and God. You know, these people lost their children. They can go to any extreme at this moment, because if you actually watch the video, watch on the people calling. In fact, they've started blackmailing the governor. From what the statement that the governor released, that most people actually thought that because he's friends with Alahaji, that he's going to let the case die down. And he said they don't know him better, that he's going to follow this case squarely, and everybody will have to answer to it. Do you understand? So that was what he said. And knowing that the governor is a very sensible person, he's one governor that people all over the state, Nigeria, love. Of course, we know that he's a very good man, and he has the interest of his people at heart. So he will do things the appropriate way, and this is just the appropriate way to handle issues like this. So let's give them time. Of course, they have to go to court, because the people that their children were involved has already taken them to court, and they have to sit through it in court and talk about it. And for people that were actually asking, even me, I was asking the questions: who are the people that their children went for the fun fair? Who are the people, the parents, the guardians of the children that weren't taking care of their children? They weren't, because even if you're sending these are minors, you don't just send them to somewhere without taking care of them, making sure that they are okay, even if they are in a line. I see parents, most parents, even their children, if they go for birthday parties, even then they're like, they keep walking around to see the children to adjust maybe their skirt, their shorts, their shoes, children, and all. They have someone that helps them take care of these children. That is a problem with a lot of parents. But I still, even at that, I still pray that God gives them the strength to hold their peace and forgive, because at this moment you don't just talk about it is not our fault. uh you also ask them to forgive and, you know, plead with them. Do you understand? Because people can go extra length for anything and not in Ibadan town. Well, the crowd was actually too much according to what they said. And I'm sure the government will get to the part where they get to ask who were the guardians, the parents that were throwing their children over the fence. Because since I heard this, I've not been myself. I was like, how do you push? Like, it's just like pushing your child to fall down from a story building, you know? Not like something is chasing you or something was chasing you, you know? Even people that things, maybe probably something is chasing them from their house and they're trying to save their kids. They will even wrap them very well in a huge clothes blanket to ensure that even if they throw them down from a high place, that they will not sustain injury, you know. So how do you throw your child over the fence and you expect that someone over the fence will help you catch your child, and when something happens to your child, you blame the organizers? So they say clear conscience fears no accusation. Once they get to that bridge, I am sure certain questions will be asked. The parents of the children that died, they will have to face their own consequences as well. So it's just for Naomi and Alahaji to bring in good lawyers, and of course, this is supposed to be a good. This going to court is like having a dialogue, you know. It's just to have good lawyers to defend them, and this is the right thing that the government is doing. Only that this is festive period. There are some days that the courthouse won't be open, so they will have to stay there for a longer time. A longer time, yes, but it seems like a longer time, but actually it is not that long. Okay, look at what this person wrote. Okay, let's read this particular one, this particular comment, and the comments that came with it. This particular comment got 27 likes. She said, Madam, you should be crying for the 35 children parents. That's the 35 children that were lost, not your daughter who has only spent 6 days in detention. They are feeding your daughter and giving her medical care. Your daughter will be fine. They only need her to investigate for investigation. They need to know what happened that day. That is just it. That is just it. That is just it. That is what I felt like. It is just it. So Titilayo Rasqua, okay, replied the person that wrote this comment, and she got 90 likes. She said, Great Sunrek, abi single reg, I don't know. Cry for the parents that they threw their children over the fence, according to the eyewitnesses. Another person said, Olatan 2000 said, crying for the children their mothers crying for the parents their mother threw them over the fence. She also got 25 likes. That's what I'm saying. Way. And that person says she should cry for who? Please always reason well before you comment. She also got 3 likes. Uh, the guy, the great saying replied them saying, that's why the police needs Naomi cooperation for the investigation. She's in their custody. They are taking good care of her. I heard they even took her to the hospital when she complained of a health issue. They are investigating what really happened. I'm sure you are not there when the mothers were throwing their children. Naomi was there. They also arrested the school principal, give police some time to fully interrogate them. If they found out she has no fault, she will return home. If they find any, it was due for her negligence. She will be charged to court and face the full world of law. This thing is more serious than you guys think. 35 children, not 35 foul. Of course, just like I reasoned, it is a more serious case. 35 children, not adults. Even if they were not even okay, let us even forget about adults. We are talking about we are talking about children, not adults. So I feel like leaving them in court in police detention is for interrogation. If they allow her to live like that, her life might also be in danger, because the people that lost their children, they no go gree, they won't accept it. And you know how it is, how evil some people can be, how evil some people can be. So okay, this person said, really, did she correct the parents to bring their children for the outreach program? They agreed resulted to the death of their children. She was just trying to help. And they even said that most of these parents, guardians that brought their children to the farm fair, they are capable of taking care of their children. Most of them had stores. They have stores where they are selling to earn at least their daily needs, every day. So that they are doing well, and they are feeding well. A lot of people feel like this is greed that brought them to this. This person said, really? Did she? Okay. This person said she invited them. It is the police investigation that would reveal if she coerced or her negligence or the children's parents' fault. If you don't want this to repeat itself, the police must take a scapegoat out of this. The scapegoat may be Naomi, the principal, or the children's parents, 35 children, not 35 goats. Okay, this person insulted. I want to talk about the insult. Said, I guess you are far away from Ibadan. That's why you are saying this, because if you were there that day, you would have caused the parents throwing their children inside the premises, which program has not even started. Not Naomi. She's purely innocent. There is more to this. Okay, so these are the people that this Shade Perry said she was there and she saw parents throwing their children into the premises. This is one of the comments. She was attacking the person that made the comment that they should allow the police to interrogate her properly so as to find out what happened, because it was 35 children's life that were lost and not fouls. Okay, so this person is telling her that it was the mothers and the guardians of the children's fault for throwing their children so hard inside the premises for a program that was scheduled for 8. They were already there before 8. Okay, so, and another thing is that the gate was still locked. The gate for the program, where the program is supposed to be held, was still locked. These people from outside were throwing in their children. So this is another case. If the gate was still locked, that means they've not opened the gate and they were not there. And they said the time for the program was supposed to start for 8, while people came out and slept overnight, you know. So this is another case that they have. So what they need to do is to get a good lawyer and tell them exactly what happened, just the way people are saying it, just the way eyewitnesses are saying it. I'm sure the government and the judges are reasonable enough to address the issue. So, but I feel like this is also a better way of addressing this issue. If not, things might go out of hand, because already they've charged Queen Naomi, the school principal, and Alahaji Hamzat for murder of those. Those are the charges. Those are the charges. According to the siblings of Queen Naomi, those were what was read in court. In fact, they didn't allow a lot of people to come inside the courthouse. It was just with Naomi's mom and her brother that went in to hear the charges. And they said she said a lot of policemen, they were guarding her, as if she was a terrorist. Generation said no unlikely vote in its infinite mercy stands for this truth and for many personal songs for birthday. God will vindicate him. It is well for me, that it will surely end in praise. This is heartbreaking, my heart breaks. And God will surely intervene to come out. Did you know that as early as before 8 a.m., with the video clips that people posted of the events that took place in Ibadan, Oyo State, at Islamic school, secondary Islamic school, the road, the road was actually blocked. Jesus and Mo said, if this lady gets convicted, hunger just start for this land, because those that want to help will think about this and withdraw. Yes, but people are still helping. It won't stop people from helping. People, givers can never stop giving, no matter what. It's just that it might not get to the right people that actually needs help. Because if you give this, most of these things, just like what happened to the palliatives during the COVID time, it didn't get to the right people because they didn't know the right people. They didn't know the right places, the channels to go and collect the palliatives that were meant for to help people, to sustain people for the period of time of that COVID virus. So it will not stop people from helping people. It will only stop them from, doing it in a more bigger way, you know, informing people, letting people know that, okay, we are going to do something. Like, information will not get to the right people. That's what I'm saying. So they could just do it probably around them. Maybe the same set of people that they've been giving things, they'll still give them because they don't want crowd. Okay, you can imagine one of the billionaires in, which state was that? I think Anambra State. He's an Igbo guy. Abi Enugu State. I don't know, Ebonyi State. I don't know. They said he's Lord. Hisha was crying on social media, nobody should come to my house, because I heard people used to come to his house a lot whenever he comes for Xmas in that eastern part of the state. And he gave them a lot. They used to be like crowd. So he was just pleading with them, nobody should come to my house. We will look for the right way to let these things get to every one of you. So they will still give to people, but it might not get to the right people, that the appropriate people that actually needs it. And most of these things, when you give it to the authorities, people that are supposed to help distribute it to them, they don't help to distribute it the right way. They keep it for themselves. They bring out small and leave the remaining ones for themselves. So that is why people want to give whatever they have for people by themselves with their own hands, because they want to make sure that it will get to everybody. Trust me, you don't want to give one particular person your stuff to distribute to people. You think the person will distribute everything. The person needs it more than you even think. The person will keep half of it and give them the small part. So that is why. So people will still help, but it might not get to the people that actually needs it. So God's will said God will, okay, royalty said God will come through for her. Style by Nikki Land said, why? God, please, Abayomi, Odeoru, Abayomi. So meaning God should help. God should also help. And what actually happened was that, this man, the owner of Agedebo FM, Alahaji Hamzat, is also a philanthropist. A lot of people listens to his radio station a lot, especially in Yoruba land, Yoruba people, because he helps the voiceless, the helpless. He has helped a lot of people. I even heard he was the one that helped in resolving this Adekoke case in which state? The man that went for his masters. I don't know if you heard of the gist. That went for his masters. He slept in a hotel room, and that was the last they heard of him. Only for them to discover his corpse buried in the floor of that hotel days later. And what actually helped the late Adekoke was that he told his wife, his family members, his whereabouts, where he lodged. So when they were calling him and they couldn't get him, they actually knew where to look, you know. So, and the owner of the hotel, according to them, he had money. He was the owner of the hotel and the son. He was threatening them with everything he had, according to the gist, what they were saying them, that he knows people in high places. According to them, they were trying to sweep the case under the carpet. So Alahaji stepped in. They kept following the case, drawing attention, creating awareness until justice was served. So people now felt like, are you sure the people, the cartel of the man that was brought to justice, are you sure they are not involved in this? That's what most people that are reasoning. And another thing is, people now started reasoning again. Are you sure it is not because Queen Naomi and the king are about to come back together? How people reason over here in Nigeria. Everybody is saying their own. Everybody's just thinking aloud, thinking probably it's Queen Naomi's unseen enemies, her enemies that doesn't want her to shine and all that. But come to think of it, they said this is something she's been doing over the years. Like she's been helping, creating funds for people, for children, most especially in every state that she can. This year, she decided to bring this fun fair to Ibadan. Of course, Ibadan is one of the largest city in Nigeria. I be one of or the largest city in Nigeria. I don't know how to describe it, but in Oyo State, there are a lot of people, beggars. I don't know where they come from, but I feel like they are too much in Oyo State, in Ibadan, because if people keep telling you, like people that have lived in Ibadan for so many years, they will tell you, some beggars have even used the begging money to build houses. Like it is like an occupation, professional job, career over here. So you know to what extent that they will take this to. They don't even mind. To make 5,000 naira in a day, that is equivalent to how much they make begging every day. So, and for him to have announced something like this, they said people came from different states, different cities to come and collect, different villages in Oyo State. They transported them. In fact, they used the money that they were supposed to even feed those children to transport them to come and collect 5,000 naira. How? So, this is the right thing that the government is doing. It's like a conversation between them and Queen Naomi, the organizers of the event, to know what happened, how was it their fault, because the people that lost their children are already pointing accusing fingers on them for what should be their fault, forgetting that these people only tried to help. They were not even there when they were pushing their children, when they were throwing their children over the fence. Okay, let's even assume that the security people were already there, flogging the children, pushing the children. They would have blamed the security personnel. But to God be the glory, it was scheduled for 8 and they were there before 8. So whatever it is, I am sure the law will look at these aspects and know that Queen Naomi and the organizers, the Agidebo station and the principal are innocent. But this is the due process. If they don't do it like this, people might decide to take laws into their hands. And it is even a good thing that the this involves people, that the Ile-Ife Palace wrote this to disassociate themselves immediately. That's the best they can do, and whatever help the king will render to Queen Naomi, he will do it from the background. If not, those people fit carry those children, and go and dump them in the palace and say it was the queen's doing, it was the palace. Before you know, they want to destroy. You know how people know how toxic some angry youth Nigerians can be, especially people trying to transfer their aggressions to somebody. This we're talking about the death of children. Normally, when people are hungry, they transfer their aggression to to people close to them. They have this spirit of entitlement, talk more of issues as grievance, as grief as this, issue as great as this, the loss of children. Somebody say, why are they holding her food till next year? Power play, it is well. The stampede was before the event and it has been confirmed and that parents of the deceased children were throwing their children over the fence. Yes. And somebody said, can you imagine throwing children through the fence? Yes, it is true that they are not supposed to hold her. But for me, I've come to reason it and think of it. Her safety also matters. If they don't do this dialogue, because going to court is like having a dialogue, and if she has, just like her hands are clean, people already there, evidences are everywhere, clear conscience fears no accusation, she should just endure so that these things can be settled amicably. If not resolved amicably in a lawful manner, people can go extra mile to harm her. I'm telling you, I am telling you, for issues like this. So they should, she should hold on and just take it like this is my cross for this 2025. She should carry it. Hold on and endure. Since they are treating her well, they are not maltreating her. Even when they said she was sick, she fell sick and her BP was so high, they took her to the hospital. They took her to the police hospital where she is. Somebody said, if Naomi says she's suspicious, course, that is the way you can look at God. But Nigerians should start following procedures and making sure that they know more about law. I mean, in every courses in the university, there should be an aspect of law that should be taught. Your rights and Nigerian constitutions, rights, and every other aspect of law that people should know more. It will help to enlighten people more on what is going on. So most of the people that are talking are saying things on the basis of what they know. And because most times when cases like this happen, you know, people might want to, you know how it is. Why when people are always, redirecting the law and making it look suspicious. So they are really scared for Queen Naomi's life at this moment. But another thing to know about holding public stuff like this, somebody said, is also a way to enlighten citizens that do organize uh, fun fairs, charity work, most of these things that people do to help people. Now, look at what the person said. The person said, but she's not licensed. That's what most Nigerians forget about any public service. You need to be registered not because I am popular or being known, even. To repair a public road or public street road, you need an approval or permit. That is another way that the government, that could be the way, that is another way the government is going to hold her down because she is not, the government is holding her down because, not even, I don't feel like mostly it's because of the death of the children. They are holding her down because she's not licensed to hold a public gathering like this. So, but these ministries should, I don't think a lot of people are aware. There are a lot of things people are not aware in this country that keep people keep defaulting, and you know they just sit down, these ministries just sit beside and still look and overlook. And when you default, trust me, that is when you know that there are a lot of things you don't know in this country. So I feel like, even, okay, so we know about this aspect of to repair public roads, government roads. We know that, like most of these federal government roads you see on on the road, and when you drive by, you be like, this road, they are bumpy, there are potholes everywhere. Why are people not contributing money to fix it? They are federal government roads. We know about that one, that you cannot touch anything that is federal government road, federal government property. Even if you feel like it's an eyesore, you want to repair it, you want to fix it, you have to get permission from the government, federal government, to fix any of their road, any of their properties. That is another aspect. So I feel like the aspect of people getting license for holding any public stuff, that is another aspect people should look into. They should create more awareness so that people will be enlightened more on all these things. Because if they don't do it the appropriate way, people will get scared of helping people in Nigeria. And of course, the government cannot do it all. All hands needs to be on ground to help feed the destitute, the ones that, the poorest of the poor, because government cannot do it all. So they need people's assistance to make sure that uh, everybody is carried along in this country, especially now that they've removed subsidy from fuel. Of course, you know how far having subsidy in fuel goes, because once there's free transportation is cheap, it helps people to convey their goods from one place to another, and of course makes things cheap for people, even the poorest of the poor that doesn't have access to the government, to be able to acquire those things. So, but they said that the president knows what he's doing, that he's trying to fix the country, and yes, we are waiting for that. So somebody said, "What do you mean by that? People threw their kids into a venue before the stipulated time. Haven't you dashed someone a gift before? Were you licensed for that? And who told you Wings NGO is not licensed?" Okay, that will be argued in court. Her foundation Wings is licensed. She operates a non-governmental charity organization under which she's been doing this charity work. When she goes to various hospitals secretly to help those who cannot afford their hospital bills, no hospital reports those. They will still argue that in court. Um, she will still come out of this, but government needs to do the appropriate things, do things the appropriate ways so that people will not feel like, because the next thing they will channel it is because she's wealthy, because she's, I know they will say because she's the Ooni of Ife's wife, because Alahaji Hamzat is wealthy. They'll forget. Trust me, when things like this happen, people will forget all the good things that she's been doing or Alaji has been doing over the years to help the poor. This involves this involves death of children. Children's lives were lost. Somebody said fabulous site said those parents are responsible for their children's death. Greed plays a part, not the organizers. And she got 420 likes. Of course, that will be argued in court. The government knows that, but it has to be done the right way to communicate to these people the appropriate way and to let them know how they got it all wrong. If not, they might take matters into their hands. Of course, all evidences are there, and with every evidence, everything that has been gathered so far, thankfully the occasion was to start by 8, and they were already there before 8. And these injuries, according to what they said, most of them were really sustained before the organizers got to the venue. So probably they will be charged in court for trespassing of properties and whatnot. But in everything, let it not be like uh you do not have empathy. They lost their children. Their mental health will not be in order. They are not thinking right now. That's what I feel like. They are not thinking right now. So all these things needs to be argued in court properly. If not, these people might actually take laws into their hands. Somebody said, is Ooni of Ife not intervening in this matter? Didi Berry said, it seems he doesn't want to intervene because she left him, but he should know that she's the mother of his first son. Evelyn said, just like I said, he might be doing his best behind the scene. That is the best thing the Ooni of Ife can do. He has to do whatever he has to do behind the scene, because if not, they will turn it to because they are in power, because they know people, because they have money, because this, because that. And lives were lost. And he's a king. He is ruling people, not animals. He is ruling people. He needs to work intelligently. If not, this could be used against his palace, against his office, against his people. So people should also know that this is an issue of they are charging her and the other people for murder. So he has to tread, you know, with caution. So that's another way to reason this thing. Somebody said, okay, this one said, I hope so too. I'm confused anyway. May God arise and his enemies be ashamed. Weltren said, "Don't call him wicked yet, cause no one knows his stand on this matter yet. We don't know, we don't even know if he's making any moves low-key. Don't think because he's a king, so he can just step into the matter without being smart about it." Exactly what I said. He cannot, in fact, if from the way the things are going, because bloggers are just saying what they like, from the way these things, this issue, this case is, from the way the parents are calling for justice, forgetting that they play the vital role of the lost, or be the loss of their kids, these beautiful souls that they just lost like that because of peanuts that they can afford to give to their children. Now, I won't call it peanuts because 5,000 naira can go a long way, and other gifts. And if any of the children were lucky, they could earn free education for the rest of their life. And of course, you know what that means. But with children, they are so sensitive. You carry them like egg, even up to when they are 18 years. Even as a mother, you still monitor your children. Even when they are married, you still monitor their children. Our mothers still monitor us, still nurture us. They still want to do things for us, even as adults. So that is it. So I just feel angry. I just feel angry. I just feel bitter. Somebody said, childlike faith said, stories are flying that he is the one behind it. Of course, the king is not behind this. Even when Naomi left, Naomi had outreaches, like numerous outreaches, like for the past 3 years that she has left the palace. Why didn't he have a hand in this? He doesn't have a hand in this. It's just a coincidence. It's just something that happens when it wants to happen, and it's just a carelessness of the guidance and parents of these children. I keep saying it. So the Ooni of Ife doesn't have a hand in this, and the other queens, the Oloris, doesn't have a hand in this. Come on now, they all have their own charity organizations, their own NGOs. Because if you pray for another person's downfall through the same thing that you do over the years, it could happen to anybody. And to show that it could happen to anybody, and there is hunger in the land, just few days after Queen Naomi's own happened, it happened in Abuja. It also happened in Anambra State. It was in a church. So I'm sure these things could happen to anybody. I don't think anybody's hand is in it. How about waiting men do you? You can't tell what's happening behind the closed doors. If it doesn't even interfere, under normal circumstances, should she be remanded? Nigeria and sponsoring people's problems. If she is not remanded, her life might be endangered, because these people are not playing. These people that lost their children, they have to blame someone. But if it is argued in court, and they are brought in, the people that lost their children are brought in to hear how it is argued in court, how they are, because most of these people are not educated, they are not enlightened. So I feel like arguing it in court is the best way, because once it is argued in court, in the process they are enlightened on how they played a huge vital role in the loss of their children. Maybe then they will calm down and not blame anybody but themselves, and also learn to forgive themselves for this avoidable mistake. So this is the best thing to do, because if you sit down and look at it, Nigerians and jungle justice, forget, I know they used to say South Africans, they like jungle justice and all that. Nigerians, we have that in us too as well. An issue that concerns localists and losing their children. In fact, Queen safety should be the top priority right now. Should be her top priority right now. So it's better they argue it in court. She has to endure this till the end. I'm sure with the right people on ground, it will be a swift one. Somebody said it's really sad. I read that the event was to begin at 10 a.m. and at 4 a.m. people were already there. The calamity happened at about 7 to 8 a.m. I wonder what her fault is in all of this. She had good intentions, God intervened, of course. Somebody said, na so una dey start. You better watch what you are saying. Oh. Was he the one that told the parents to throw their children off fence? Some even slept there inside cold, children with empty stomach. You can imagine. Eh? You brought children with empty stomach, like you wake. You know how people travel early in the morning. Sometimes children don't eat, or they just give them tea, or just give them bread, or you just wake up children with empty stomach, knowing how flexible, how do I there's this English I wanted to use, but I'll come back to it. How soft, how delicate these children are. And you wake them early in the morning without feeding them, you throw them over the fence, you know, in a dusty place, in the cold, and you expect them to survive? God. Somebody says stampede happened in Anambra State and in Abuja. No one is remanded in custody without bail. Nigerian law is bigger than anyone. Funny people, what would happen to over 30 mothers that lost their children? You set camera and begin they cry. Oh dear Lord, you guys are so unbelievable. Okay, see, this is what this person said. Yellow finish at okay. So somebody said another one to argue is she didn't drag anybody from their houses, she didn't force anybody to be there, and those children were in the custody of their guardians and their parents. So they were supposed to do the proper work by taking care of their children's safety before the organizers take over. And another thing to argue in court is that you didn't hand your children over to Queen Naomi or Alahaji Hamzat, or they didn't cross the gate as of that time. The incident already happened, and I'm not even sure they opened the gates at that time. So if the gates were still locked, according to what they are saying, it is another way to argue it, because the children has not been handed over to the organizers, so you are still in charge of your children's safety until the program starts by 8 a.m. So, but it has to be argued in court, because the gate has not been opened. You are throwing your children. In fact, you were trespassing. You were throwing your children over the fence. You slept overnight and all that. So, but all these things has to be argued in court, and of course, she needs to get a good lawyer to argue. They need to get a good lawyer to argue this in court. But she will still be in police custody, I feel, for her own safety, and of course for the calmness of this event, because they need to address this in a calm manner and enlighten the people. I still emphasize, still enlighten the people that lost they lost their loved ones, and of course in hold them responsible in court for negligence. And I feel the pains of those children, God. Okay, so this is another person arguing. She said, now let's ask you a very simple question. You told people to come to an open space for giveaways as at 12 p.m. Then you called up security to be there at 11 a.m. for orderliness. But as early as 6 a.m., people have gathered up at the location in mass. By 9 a.m., people have already started climbing on each other, killing themselves in the process. By the time security even got there at 10 a.m., a lot of damage has been done. Would you be happy if you were blamed for the death of these people? Would you be happy if you were arrested for murder? I swear, if my biological sister or brother took their child or infant to that type of gathering and they lose their child, I wouldn't take it easy with that my sibling, because they are the ones that killed their children. Not that I have enough to eat too. And it's not as if I see give away some where I wouldn't go. But the moment I start seeing people pile up and I have a child, my common sense will tell me to leave that gathering immediately. And of course, when you get to an event like this and you saw that the place was no longer conducive for your child, for you and your children, why not leave? You go to a venue and you are seeing that some people even slept overnight. There are crowds everywhere. You should have just carried your kaya and left the place. And left the place. So who will argue those that goes for um what do they call it? Um um I've forgotten these places. Okay, okay, like a man came out to cry in religious places. We've had stampede. A man came out to cry. A Catholic in, I think the man is from Abia State. He lost his wife and daughter in a religious movement. They went for this Station of the Cross, Christ the King in Aba, and there was stampede, and the daughter and the wife were killed. So who are you supposed to blame? You are an adult, you are with your child. At that time, you've not handed your children over to the organizers. So why are they blaming the organizers? But these cases are cases that they argue in court. So they are going to do it the appropriate way. So 99%, Naomi and the organizers, other organizers, Alahaji Hamzat, they have 99% chances of winning the case. In fact, they can still sue the parents for trespassing and, of course, other charges. But for now, the parents are doing what they want to know how to do best for now until they get to court. Somebody said, I feel bad for the people that lost their children, but you can't put the blame on her. Have you even seen the videos? It's not her fault in any way. Be reasonable too. Put yourself in her shoes. So somebody said, okay, this person still argues that I hope you know the moment you decide to take up such project, you are 100% responsible for those who would go and check Black Diamond Support Foundation on Facebook and IG. I'm a member of the foundation, and every year we feed 5,000 children and also do back to school. Where do we use the stadium? We will do risk assessments, do safeguarding just to make sure everything runs smoothly. I am replying you this way because I saw you are reasonable. You asked me a question politely. Not all of us don't know how these things work. Okay, they are arguing and people are giving their own opinions. People are saying how this case might end and all that. So the most important thing is that they will be argued in court and God will see them through. Once again, for the parents that lost their beautiful children, I am still angry with you, but I will not forget to say, may God heal your broken hearts and may the souls of those little angels rest in peace, and may you forgive and also may you forgive and also may you forgive them and also forgive yourself, and may God grant those children peace. Yes. Thank you all for always viewing my channel, viewing my gist, and for your write-up. Why do you do your videos in the dark? I've already answered you, and thank you for your wonderful comments. I really appreciate you all. I wish there's a way I can say something here, reply every comment, but I guess I've replied it. So I'll just leave a question here. What do you think about Queen Naomi's case? And for people that have live videos, that feel like they want to share with her lawyers and everything, maybe you can just put it up, send it to her mom to help them with the case and all that. But I think it's still best they argue this in court so that everybody's mind will be at peace. All right, people, thank you so much for always coming to my life, for your wonderful comments, for your love, for your support. And of course, you keep praying for Queen Naomi. And of course, keep praying that the king will meet the right people, because he cannot do this openly. You have to help her behind closed doors. I'm sure he must be helping, but a lot of people should stop cursing him out and pray for him, and stop suggesting that probably he's the one that is involved. These occurrences happened, and shortly after Queen Naomi's own happened, it happened in Anambra and in Abuja, to show that there's hunger in the land and people are really ready to kill for as little as 1,000 naira. So please don't forget to like and share my videos. Don't forget to comment nicely, and don't forget to follow me, subscribe to my channel, and thank you all. Have a blessed day. Bye. Bye. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to like and share my videos. In case you have anything that I feel like, in case you have any videos, any video clips that you feel like can help Queen Naomi and the mom, because I'm sure some people took videos. I saw some videos of the crowd early in the morning, as of before 8 a.m. on social media, and so these videos could help their lawyers argue that it was not Queen Naomi's fault. Anyways, may God continue to rest the souls of those angels, 35 angels that lost their lives in the course of going to have fun, going to get their daily needs and all that. Um, may God give their parents the heart to forgive and endure. That's the only thing they should also ask them. Even if the argument ends in the fact that the parents are at fault, they are parents, they lost children, they should also ask them for forgiveness, and also ask them for forgiveness and also assist them in any way they can. I know that nothing is enough to bring back those wonderful children that were lost. I just feel like that is the best way to end this case and to free her also, because Queen Naomi herself is a mother. She's a human being. She's feeling bad. Even if she wants to come out from wherever she is, she's also in shock, you know. She's also feeling bad. She's also in shock. I'm sure the Alahaji too is also in shock, because he's someone that's been helping people, and not he wouldn't pray to do something that will harm people or take any away people's lives, talk more of children. They are also in shock as much as the parents are. So even if they're arguing all this, they should also learn to ask them for forgiveness, and they should both forgive each other, so that they can all move on in peace. Because I tell you, for the rest of Queen Naomi's life, she will still be in shock, like unbelievably shocked, that something she organized to help children turned out this way. So they will also need to see um, a therapist, you know, to heal them after this case. Because trust me, you don't want to see where children died. You don't want to see children gave up the ghost. You don't want to see someone dying. The shock, the trauma is not something that goes off that easily. So Queen Naomi and the organizers and the school principal, I'm sure they will still be in shock, because Christmas should be a moment of celebration, not a moment of grief. And yes, they will still learn to beg and forgive each other. So that is all I have to say for today. I'll still bring in more gist if there is any, but for now, it's just the question people have been answering: why is Ooni of Ife not intervening? And of course, Queen Naomi's mom crying and pleading for government to intervene so that they can release her daughter. So, but from all from the all ramifications, the way checked, you know that they are also trying to safeguard Queen Naomi's life, because these things can turn brutal. All right, thank you all so very much, and have a blessed day. Bye.